Well, after the first gold medals from rowing and pencaksilat, Indonesian athletes from other sports are aiming to go and contribute for Indonesia's medal tally at the 31st SEA Games in Hanoi, Vietnam. And from the aquatic sports, swimming is one of the sports with the most medals to be competed for. Indonesian swimmers are bracing up to give their best. The Indonesian Swimming Association, or PB-PRSI, has sent off 17 of its athletes to compete at the Medians Water Sports Stadium. And to know more on the readiness of swimmers and medal prospects, we'll talk to managers of the Indonesian swim team, WISNU WARDHANA, joining us live via Zoom applications. Good afternoon to you, Mr. WISNU. Thank you very much for joining us here in Focus today on TVRI World.
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, thanks for televising this. We need the support from everyone in Indonesia.
Right. Mr. WISNU, how ready are our swimmers, both physically and mentally, to compete for the 2021 SEA Games in Vietnam and to get those medals for the country?
We are super ready. Actually, we have 17 swimmers, 8 boys, 9 girls to compete starting tomorrow. Definitely, we will and we must do better than our 2019 SEA Games, which we are very optimistic. We're very confident because now everyone is starting from scratch pretty much. Excuse me. Why? Because over 2 years, the pandemic has reset everyone from, practicing, competing as well. So everyone actually starting from zero. So our big rivals such as Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, they are all aware that, every country has pretty much the same chances, opportunities, and we are one of the strong contender to grab a lot of medals, I'm saying, yeah.
Right, Mr. WISNU, what you said, I mean, considering our challenges in the time of the pandemic and also the lack of practices and competitions for our athletes, do we have any specific targets of medals, be it gold or silver or bronze, from our athletes?
Definitely, we want to grab as much gold as we could in the SEA Games. Well, I'm not saying definitely how many golds that we're gonna get, but we will try our best. Hopefully, we can get more than what we got in Philippines, which we only got 1. Hopefully, we get more than 1. See, my face is smiling, so because I know after the manager meetings, I know how the field's gonna look like. But never say never. The meet has not started yet. Everybody still have 0 gold, 0 silver, 0 bronze. We will see tomorrow, and we'll let you know definitely first thing first when we get our first gold.
Well, we certainly love that smile. It is an optimistic smile, we hope. You mentioned briefly that we have 1 gold in Manila, Philippines for the 2019 SEA Games. What sort of lesson learned do we have from the 2019 SEA Games in Manila that we bring over to Vietnam to perform better?
Yes, definitely we learned a lot from the past experience, not only from Philippines, but also from the previous SEA Games in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, whereas we tried to set the higher standard. We have been working together with our Australian coach, Mike Piper, and I think he has done a very tremendous and fantastic job to recreate and remotivate all the swimmers. We have also a lot of young potential swimmers coming into this SEA Games in Vietnam, and for sure we will be prepared for the next SEA Games, not only 1 but 2 or 3 SEA Games forward. So then we will be more ready than ever.
Right. Which numbers or category, if you will, which are highly favored and expected to win medals for our Indonesian contingent, Mr. Wisnu?
I would say all
Okay.
because okay, we have some sprinters, we have some seasoned and very experienced sprinters, but we don't want to be overconfident and then giving a lot of pressure towards these swimmers. There are some events that actually very hopeful to get gold medals, but I'm not saying that we can't say who will be getting the medals because again, pressure is always be another issues or concern, not issue, but concerns for the swimmers. So we don't put anything to them. We know they will do their best for Indonesia. The most important thing is actually all swimmers, they have the same chances, although we know who's going to get the best and the fastest time, let's say, in the sprint events or middle distance or even distance events. We'll give them some surprises. We'll give the other countries some surprises, and I think some new names will be up there.
Right.
And again, you'll know, and you'll be the first to know.
We'll definitely be looking out for the performances. You mentioned also briefly some of the countries that we need to watch out for, some of our toughest and main competitors for the swimming team. Could you elaborate more on these ASEAN nations that are some of the toughest competitions out there?
Definitely Singapore is I think no doubt they're the strongest for the next the past decade. We always been having a close rivalry with Singapore. Malaysia, also another country that has been well prepared, and not to forget the host Vietnam. They always been giving us big surprises on every meet, and also Philippines with their diaspora, and they have a lot of good swimmers as well. And Thailand, they have very mixed senior and young swimmers as well. So and I think the other countries there, we don't know yet. I mean, we haven't competed for the last 2 years, so it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be even fields. I think other sports having the same experience as well, like what you just mentioned, wushu. A lot of new names coming, so we'll see, but we are ready.
Right. My final question to you, Mr. Wisnu, you mentioned also briefly that the lack of practice due to the pandemic, the time of the pandemic has been quite a challenge. Do we have other major obstacles in terms of practices or just common difficulties that our athletes need to face preparing ahead of the SEA Games in Vietnam?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we have a lot of obstacles. We had a lot of constraints for the past 2 years. We couldn't go to abroad for competitions. Some pools were even closed for almost 3 months during I think 2020, and that's a lot of drawback for us. But not to forget that other countries are having the same experience. Not to mention also other parts of the world, like a lot of swimmers from other countries. They train in the US, they train in Australia. They also have the same problem. So I think not only us that having that challenges, but also the other countries. So it's going to be an exciting SEA Games this time. So it's like it's a brand new ball game. We'll do our best.
Right. The ball is for everyone to grab, and we'll see some surprising moments definitely,
0-0.
Definitely this year.
0-0.
And most definitely, all of us here in Indonesia are cheering for our swimmers out there to perform their best. Indonesia Swim Team Manager, Mr. WISNU WARDHANA, thank you very much for your insights and your time here in Focus today.